Good evening and welcome to Tuesday nights on Bad Dog Comedy TV and Quarantea with Tamara Shevon. Now please give it up for your host, Tamara.
Yes, y'all. We are back. I am back. It is Quarantea on this hot day. It's been crazy. I've had to shower twice. Hope y'all are doing well. Guys, it's Quarantea. Last week was the season premiere. It was super exciting. We had Leah Abrams on, but today we have a new special guest. And I just want you to understand that we love Quarantea just as much as you clearly love Quarantea. And if you feel like you want to just be like, oh my gosh, it's like going to a real life show, because it is. And I have learned so much and I had such a great time and I laughed and laughed and laughed. Feel free to donate to baddogtheater.com/Quarantea to help shows like this keep going and to help support Bad Dog TV and your local artists. So without further ado, let's bring on our guest tonight. This guest has been rocking with me on Quarantea since it was on Instagram Live. Like, what is that even? One of my homies, ride or die. Please give it up for the very talented Jhanelle Denis, everyone.
Hey, T-Rock,
yes.
Tamara. Feels good to be here.
Okay, so here we are, just waiting for Jhanelle, just chilling. There you are! Yay!
Oh, okay. Sorry, I had this whole thing where I'm like, yeah, T-Rock in the building. I'm like doing all this stuff, and you couldn't even hear me. So just forget about that.
Jhanelle is the co-host of a very popular Instagram show called Pull Up with her co-host Leah Abrams, and I had to have them both on, but not at the same time. So we had to have them on separately. They are separate people. So.
You know, we would have totally, like, we need clout, so we would have totally done it together, but I appreciate you having that individual respect for each of us.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So if you want to check that out, that is every Thursday on Instagram at 7 p.m. You can follow Jhanelle at Jhanelle.
Every Thursday-ish. Yeah.
It's every Thursday. I'm now their publicist.
Yeah. Like, they need to be more consistent. We're like, yeah, you're right.
You just never know when you're going to pull up. That's the whole thing.
That's
right?
true. Yeah, exactly.
So please follow Jhanelle and see what they are doing. It makes me laugh every time I go on there because they take such complex issues and they make me laugh about them. Kind of like what Quarantea does. They're separate things. Not all Black people are the same. Okay?
Even though we're saying what we're doing is the exact same. But
we're doing the same
flavors.
Thing. Exactly. But today I have a really fun topic that I'm really excited to do because it's something that's always on my mind, and I feel like we just need to spill some tea on it, talk about it. So tonight we're going to be talking about the real Black lives of the camera. It's like the Real Housewives of Atlanta.
Oh, fanatic! I see what you did. Real Black lives of the camera of Atlanta. Okay.
Yeah.
That almost went over my head, but you explained it, and now we're good.
I love puns. I'm gonna be the person telling the dad jokes when I have children. I'm not gonna let that.
Oh.
Yeah.
Do we have a little lag going on here maybe, or?
Yeah, I think, Tamara, you are frozen for me, girl.
Yeah, we get some freezing going on. There it is.
And we're back.
Okay, so let's get started on everything. So what we're going to be talking about, so basically what I've noticed watching different types of shows, because for anyone that doesn't know, I'm a reality TV queen. I know everything that's happened in every reality TV show. When you're like, oh, you're not texting me back, what have you been doing? I've been watching reality TV shows and pulling people up on Twitter. That's what I do. And so I'm an enthusiast.
It's a lifestyle.
It's a lifestyle. I'm an enthusiast specialist. That's me, honey. So, but I've realized certain things during watching all of these shows, watching films, watching TV, that I'm like, why do Black people always look like this in these scenarios? So I'm going to give you some different kind of archetypes of different types of Black situations that I've seen through TV and film, and you're going to tell me what you think they mean and then where you've seen an example. And we might have some of the same examples. I have some examples that I'd like to share as well. But yeah, you're already sipping the tea. Here at Quarantea, we don't sip tea. We sip tea for real drinks, okay? Because it's 7 p.m.
Yep. We're grown up.
It's 7 p.m. here. It's my adult juice. So let's do it up. The first topic. Are you ready?
I'm preparing myself. I'm trying to get in the zone.
All right. So when you watch TV, what is the meaning of this archetype of the angry Black woman?
You had to start there, Tamara. Come on. That's so the archetype of the angry Black woman to me is the girl who's always up for a fight. It's the girls I was scared of in high school in Scarborough, but secretly wanted to be, / secretly still want to be. And a lot of the reality shows I watch are all glorifying that trope. And one part of me is against it, but then the other part, like I get so riled up and my adrenaline is just like pumping. And you ever like afterwards when you watch something like that, like you watch a fight on the internet and then you go in your head and you envision yourself in that fight? That's all that I do. And that's why I watch those shows, because then I imagine like, oh, what if this happened to me? And then but I'm like, I'm not like that in real life at all. But I wish
you know what? That's literally like me though, because I look at these things and I'm like, oh, a bitch could never, like, you know what I mean? But
yeah, you're like, let's try it. Pop off. Everyone's like, Tamara, I've never heard you go off and something like that before, but okay. Acting brand new.
Yeah. It's so weird, like, because I see that all the time. Where's the first example, or where's the main example where you've seen the angry Black woman stereotype?
What show isn't that stereotype in? I'd say so. Okay, so I love how I'm like setting this up like it's some huge revelation, but all the people that really know me know that this is my huge guilty pleasure, my number one reality show, Bad Girls Club. Used to be on Oxygen, now it's on Hulu. It just came out on Hulu last week. And so, okay, for anyone who doesn't know what Bad Girls Club is, let me break it down for you really simply. So think of the real world, you put everyone in a house and then you see what happens, or whatever the slogan is. But in Bad Girls Club, it's bad girls. So girls who are known for being the bully in their group, the fighter, the drunk, all of the worst things, all of the worst qualities in a person. So they put all of those girls in the same house. And so the first season was kind of like trying to be like rehab for those girls to change them. But then by season 3, that went out the window. So a lot of it is just girls getting into fights. But if after season 2 or season 1 they changed the rules because like legality issues, if you beat someone up really bad, you have to leave the house. So in the show, I'm telling you, a white girl in the second season got her fusion extensions ripped out of her head in a fight. So, and people get jumped on that show. So obviously they don't want to get sued. So the rule is if you beat a girl up too badly, then you get kicked out the house. So it's become a whole thing in the house they go, I want this bitch gone. Let's bully her to the point of I get her to hit me and then she has to leave. And then, there's throwing people's clothes in the pool, throwing cereal. They throw cereal on each other to wake each other up. It's wild. I get her to hit. It's totally wild.
I love how you said beat people up too badly.
It's a sliding scale, Tamara. There's like, if you go up, boop, like if you hit anywhere like that's not the face, then it's okay. But then the really badly is like you're pulling in the hair and you're getting thumps in. You know what I mean? Like thumps, like
people don't know what
when they
thumps
turn
are.
on the sound effects.
Thumps is
think of like Street Fighter. Like
Honda. So like crimes are
Finish him.
So if you commit a crime, you're not a bad girl, you're a bad bitch, and like you have to leave. Tums is like such a Jamaican thing. Tums are like, you don't like, your parents don't just hit you. If you get a tump, like you did something really bad, you embarrass the family. It's like it's a knuckle thing.
It's the next step up from lick. Oh, do we really have to teach the Jamaican scale of violence right now? It goes lick, which is like a slap or like a little hit that doesn't really leave a bruise or anything. Then there's a box, which is like a punch or like a hard slap. And then the thump is like almost like a knockout.
Yeah. It's a Mike Tyson Fury kind of thing. Lick box thump. Stay tuned for our next single, Lick Box Thump, coming out.
Lick them.
I'm dead. So yeah, that's give it up for Sean. Honestly, killing me.
Big ups to Sean in tech. Lick box thump. The hierarchy.
Lick box thump. So yeah, so that's the thing. So there's they created a whole situation, like a whole type of show based on the angry Black woman. Okay, and then any white person that's on that show.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
No, just say any white person that's on that show, they have to be reformed.
Yeah, it's weird because the white girls on the show are like. A lot of the white girls on Bad Girls Club are more passive, but they're sneaky. So for the show, it's a great dynamic because the white girls are sneaky and they do messed up things, knowing that these Black women are going to pop off when they do. Like, okay, for example, season, I want to say 5. You guys don't care. One of the later seasons, this white girl named Shelly messed around with this Black girl Tasia with her contacts. So she didn't like Tasia. She went, and I forgot what she did. She poured like some kind of cleaning chemical or bleach or something in her contact solution. And so then I guess maybe production probably saw this happen and warned her because like you could go blind. You could literally go blind. So Tasia finds out and she pulls up to. So they come back from the club, Shelly, the white girl, and then this Spanish girl are just eating their Chinese food after the club. And Tasia rolls up wearing basketball shorts, her hair tied up, and sneakers on in the house. So they're like, why do you have your sneakers on? She's like, so which one of you, I need to know who touched my contacts. So the white girl who did it, she's like, none of us touched your contacts. And then the white girl who didn't do it was like, I didn't touch your contacts. And so Tasia is like, one of you is lying, and I'm gonna give the person who's lying 5 seconds to admit what you did, or take this ass whooping. And then the music starts, and the girl who did it goes, Tasia, you have no idea who messed with your contacts. And she goes, I promise you. She's like, I promise you don't. She's like, I promise you I do. I know exactly. And then jumps in, like starts headshots, like starts punching her in the face. It's one of my favorite clips of all time. But they knew
did she
they
get
were
the
doing
right
that.
one? Did she get the right one?
Yeah. Oh yeah. It was a vindictive moment in Bad Girls Club history. For sure. That was a win.
Big up for the Tuesday tea. I love that. You're tuning in for Tuesday tea. Yes. Woo woo. Tuesday tea.
Hey, that's the girl.
I love how messy everybody is at the top of the week. No, that's crazy. Like, that's the thing about Bad Girls Club. Like, it's just, you watch it and you're like, yo, this makes me feel better. But also, like, you're making so much money off of this. And it's very weird how little money these people are getting, but you're exploiting this narrative, right?
Oh, fully. Oh, sir, can I give one more example? That one was my favorite one. I just remembered my favorite one, which goes in Bad Girls Club Hall of Fame of, I guess, angry Black woman trope versus the white sneakiness. So There in season 2, there's a white girl named I don't remember her name. It was irrelevant, but she was always trying to start shit with Tanisha, who now is one of the faces of the show. She went on to host all the after shows. So Tanisha loves juice, and there's a whole scene where she talks about how much she loves juice, and so the white girl goes and she pours hot sauce in the juice. So then Tanisha goes and drinks it, and she goes, "There's hot sauce in my juice. My throat is burning. My throat is burning. Take me to the hospital right now."
Not the
And it's
hospital.
so dramatic. Yeah, it's so dramatic. And then obviously she doesn't go because. So then afterwards, she finds out who put the hot sauce in her juice, and she confronts her. And then and obviously, I don't know why the white girls on the show always deny what they did. And she's like, "I didn't do anything to your juice." She's like, "I know you put the hot sauce in my juice. Buy it back, bitch. Buy it back." and so then they fight outside, and then she goes and she grabs her hair, and she had fusion extensions. For anyone that doesn't know what fusions are, it's like a white girl type of extensions where they take the hair and they bond it to each part. It's really expensive and it looks really bad. But she ripped the fusions out of her head. And then after the fight, she goes, "Look at your fusions," and the camera pans to the floor. So much of the show is ripping girls' hair out, and it's awful, but I love it.
Yes, thank you for commenting on that. Black Girls Club,
Yes.
Bad Girls Club is coming back. Jhanelle.
It came back. Happy to announce. Should I just be the spokesperson for Bad Girl Club at this point? It came back on Sunday. It's on Zeus Network. It's called Baddies ATL.
Not Baddies. Bad Girls Club is like,
but not just Baddies. Baddies ATL. They need to let you know where they are.
Yeah, they need to let you know. Property.
And they couldn't get the rights
is
to Bad
cheap.
Girls Club. That's intellectual property too. They couldn't say Bad Girls Club. They couldn't even use Bad Girls Clubhouse. They couldn't use Bad Women's Club. They couldn't use any of that. So they needed to get creative, I guess.
Yeah, it's just Baddies World. The intro's just them riding a bike. Bobby's World was the shit, for real.
Oh, Bobby's, yeah, with Howie and oh man, Bobby's World. You should do that. You should edit that over the intro. People have been on social media. People have been making fun of the intro because it's so low budget looking, and people said it reminded them of Wizards of Waverly Place. Remember that Selena Gomez show on Disney?
Yes.
Because they're like, it's like, you know how like those things start where it's like they have the name and then it's like they do their little reality show intro. They go, but it's so bad, Tamara. Like even the girl Natalie Nunn, she's like one of the baddest bitches. She's one of the executive producers. She goes, and her name isn't even where she's pointing to. It's like down here. And she's like,
that's like the classic. Please subscribe to my channel. And it's like down there. You're like, oh, YouTube
like,
really.
If you want to know more, click on the next video here. They're like, bitch, where's the video?
Where though?
I'm trying to give you these clicks, but
right?
Your logistics
are
off. Sorry.
That's the problem, right? Because it's the same thing. Like I hate that like mentality because they mix like white people in with black people, but it's only on the black people. Like if you look at Real Housewives of Atlanta, and you know our girl Nene Leakes, right? Nene is the face of the entire franchise, but she's the angry one, and she spends her whole time like Kim is the instigator of a lot of these things. I don't know if you've watched
really. So
Kim does really like.
I only seen clips, but I know Nene's history. I know that she's like one of the baddest. Do they use that on Real Housewives, or she's one of the HBIC of the franchise? Can we say that?
Yes, but she's left because what happened is that they used her in this angry black girl situation, and they made money off of it, and she was getting paid less than any other cast member.
No way, but she's the number one source of all the gifts that we use and all the sayings. Like she said, I said what I said. That's Nene.
That's Nene, but they put her in like 4 episodes in, pick up the season, make it exciting. Then they don't have to pay her for the beginning parts. And then she started realizing, like, yo, these storylines and my catchphrases and everything is me, but you're painting me as this angry person. So they need to let her come in later so that there's drama and there's conflict. They need to let her come in after everyone's been like, where's Nene? What's going on? And they put her in these situations that make it look like she's angry when the reality of the situation is that you're putting her in a position to make her look a certain way to fuel your narrative for your Housewives franchise. And Andy Cohen's just sitting in his clubhouse being like,
Andy Cohen's
"Go,
making
come
bad.
through."
Like, was it you that said, I think it was you that said Kris Jenner was hard, but Andy Cohen works harder? Like, that man.
I thought you were gonna say when you and I when you sent me an invite to Clubhouse, and I thought you meant Andy Cohen's Clubhouse.
Stop it. What is Andy Cohen's Clubhouse?
It's where he does Watch What
That
Happens
sounds like
Live.
a children's TV show. It's what?
Where he does Watch What Happens Live. It's like he brings guests on and he kikis with them. And so when you're like, I got this invitation for Clubhouse, and I was like Andy Cohen's Clubhouse, and you're like, you don't deserve this.
You're like,
so
damn,
yeah, like
Jhanelle's really falling on some hard times. She's there. She's in Andy Cohen's Clubhouse.
I thought we were gonna be on the Zoom. I was like, come through, Andy. But that's not what we're doing. That's not what we're doing. Let's move on to the next one. I don't know if you've seen this before. The next archetype that you see in film and television, the domestic. What does that mean to you?
So like domestic as in like the help, like
yeah, literally
matronly. So matronly. Actually, I have another Bad Girls Club example for this. So Tanisha, who I was speaking about, the one who loves her juice, who thumped the girl in her head for putting hot sauce in the juice. She, at the end of her season, is the one who brings everyone together. And she's kind of like the mama bear of the whole group. But then they still do her dirty and someone ends up in jail. Oh, yeah, I think maybe she ends up in jail for a fight that happened in some club or something like that. And yeah, it got... If you've ever, so if you or anyone watching or listening has ever seen that GIF, and I always use it all the time, that GIF of a woman who's looking at her computer screen and then she just sheds one single tear and she goes like this, that's Tanisha. And that was after what happened
that's
to her.
her.
Yeah, that was that episode of what happened to her. So, or maybe it's a different episode, but whatever, that's the person. So yeah, the help or the domestic to me is like that kind of, she's not seen as the baddie in terms of like the one who's wearing the hot outfits and like snagging all the people. Like it's literally the one coming up and cleaning up everybody's mess and caring after everybody. And is like this matronly, like big mama type.
Literally.
Right?
That's literally what that is. Like honestly, and you use the perfect example, and that's the one that I had as well. The help. The help is literally exactly what that is. It's like it's literally like, we're gonna take care of these people. It's gonna be me. It's gonna be these two Black women that are like, oh, you're beautiful, you're smart, you're kind, like this, blah blah blah. You was beautiful.
You was kind, you was smart, you was important.
Yeah, you was important. And it's like, oh, don't let the chicken burn. And they're taking care of these people, and they're looked at as this motherly figure, but they're never going to get the actual respect that actually deserves. But they're raising these people, and they're helping these people through their life troubles and traumas. And it's like, why is that a role that needs to be existing for Black women on screen? It's like Aunt Jemima, same thing. Aunt Jemima's like, let me help you make your pancakes. We're eating Bammy and saltfish, bitch. Like,
that's a fried dumpling, bitch. What are you talking about? Get out of here with your maple syrup.
What Black person's like, I gotta get my maple syrup? Like,
yeah, who came up with that? Do we have proof that it couldn't have been a Black person that came up with Aunt Jemima? Like, it just couldn't have been. Was it? I know, I was looking at you like you had the answer. I was like, you did it. I mean, Tamara, come clean.
I was like, I don't know, is KFC like really like it's just
Yeah,
KFC is the
I
same thing.
hate that. I hate that because exactly what you said. It's like the woman that helps and that has such a big heart and takes care of her own, and then she never reaps the benefits. Like Aunt Jemima, why don't we see her on the label, like in front of a nice house, coming out of a Maybach or something? Like she's making cash, but she always is wearing the same outfit, the same like dress, like slavery times. And it's like, because you want to keep her down after she's making bank. So no, it needs to stop.
That's the whole thing, though. Like, and it's funny that you're using the Maybach because that's a hilarious example. But it's like that's what I want to see, though.
Yeah, we want to see Aunt Jemima glow up. We want to see her maybe get a press and curl. We want to see her like going out and like going to IHOP and then just tipping someone in $100 bills and being like, "I got this." Like, we're never gonna see that story. Actually, aren't they getting rid of Aunt Jemima? I heard that.
Because they were like in 2021 they were like, oh, this might be racist. So that's good.
they're like police brutality is a problem, and get that black woman off of our maple syrup. Put a maple leaf or some shit on there.
Get Austin Matthews on that. I'm sick of this shit.
This can't stand.
But like, and that's the whole thing, though. Like, I don't get where the correlation happened, which is like that's cool, but that's not like it's not my battle really. But it's just
here's where I think it happened because, and we still see it in this day and age, especially in New York City, that people's nannies are often Black women, also some like Asian women, largely Filipino and Black women are people's nannies. And they're usually in those types of positions and they do a great job and raising these rich white kids. They're not just white, raising rich kids across the board and sending the money home to their family. And by home, I mean like usually where they come from, which is the Caribbean, maybe some countries in Africa. I can speak towards the Caribbean side. There's a lot of Caribbean nannies. So there's whole generations of kids that grew up with their Black nanny that was more of a mother figure to them than their actual moms. So I feel like it comes like in society, it's like we will gravitate to a Black woman like that because it's like, oh, she's gonna have my back, she's gonna hold me down, she has sense. But then, which there isn't anything inherently wrong with that, but it just comes at the expense a lot of the times of that person's own wants in life and their own happiness.
That is exactly the same thing, and these kind of go hand in hand. And we're not talking about this one today, but it does really go hand in hand with the magical Negro idea, because the idea of this person and the magical Negro is one's the female, one's the male version. It's like you give all your life to this family and protecting and making sure that you're taking care of these like people in these movies and these TV shows. Like you're the giver, but you have no life. Your whole life is dedicated to making sure their life is good.
Yeah, to serving, which is like just a couple letters off of slave. So
yeah, it's like I want a property tax bill. Like, why do we only get yours? I want a house, like not yours. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't want to drive a car that you bought for me. Like, and my mom, like right now, is in a very interesting situation where she is a home nurse and she has her own company, and it's one of those things where she does like, and that's a great thing to have, and it's sometimes looked down upon because people are like, oh, your mom's like going to people's houses and like caring for their kids. I'm like, that's the mom they know. Like, that's literally the mom they know. And us being, Jamaican Jews, it's kind of like she's walking the line of both sides of like, I'm Jamaican, I have this background, and the culture is that like you kind of like work and like grind and make sure your kids have everything that's really great, and then you kind of like check in when they're 3. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
So
that's a huge thing. A lot of people in my family like that too. Like they went, almost I feel like almost every Caribbean person that's in North America now are parents or grandparents. They were there first. They went to America. They went to Canada. And when our parents were young, and they would just send money back, and then you go and you send for the family, and American dream, yada yada yada, or whatever.
100%. Like, I'm still in a state where, like, my brother's never left the island. He's never left Jamaica. And we still, like, make sure he's good and stuff, but it's one of those things where, like, the domestic stereotype, putting that into these movies and these films makes it seem like that's what we want to do. Like,
yeah,
nobody wants to do this. It's like, this is the job that we're going to be easily taken to do, so we're going to take that and we're going to do the best we can with it. But putting that in a glorified setting in any sort of TV or film setting is detrimental to us trying to have our come up. Like, it's insane.
Yeah. And the way they glorify it is always in the wackest way possible. Like, it's never a superhero. Tell me, have you ever seen a woman that's like that? And actually, because what she's doing is superhuman. Raising her kids, raising everybody else's kids, making $1 out of 15 cents, doing all that. She only ends up in rap lyrics. There's no movie where she's the main character or she's the star. It's always to support someone else, which that's messed up.
Well, and it's also the thing with that whole situation is that for some reason Hollywood's not getting it. It's like not clicking, right? That they think that they need to make black versions of people that already exist. And it's like, we don't want a black Batman or a black Superman.
Mm-mm.
We want our own version of who we are. Like, we don't, like, it's worse. We don't want a black Ariel. We want a new franchise where the person's just black. Like, you being like, oh, look though, look at this black Cinderella. I'm like, I lost my shoe a long time ago. Okay? And like, I'm not like, it's not cute.
Yeah, you're like, my stepsisters, they thumped me the other day. Like, it's not cute. There's the mice that are singing to us, they ate through my underwear the other day. Like, it's not cute.
We don't find this cute. So that whole situation of like, oh, we'll make you this person that cares for this person, or is like cool with this person, or protecting this person, and you have no personal life, that should be good enough. It's like, no, why don't we have our own character? I don't really get it. I'm not really sure why. Mm-mm. So
what you said about Black Ariel, though, I gotta disagree with you on that. I'm happy about that because Ariel should have been black from the beginning. Her lobster crab friends, they're all Jamaican and they're under the sea. They're from the islands. Like, why was she white in the first place? They need to.
But they're not Jamaican. They're white guys with Jamaican voices.
That's why you need to fix it, Tamara.
So that is my point. I don't need like Godfrey like putting on whatever he's putting on or whatever his name is. What's his name?
Oh,
Gilbert Godfrey or whatever.
Okay.
Like, I just like, that's the whole thing. It's just like, I get it, but it's this whole thing where everyone's getting mad about The Simpsons right now. It's like, no one's mad about Apu. We're mad about the fact that Apu isn't who he is actually in real life. Like, I get voice acting and I get a range.
Oh, I didn't even know that. Wait, Apu's white?
Yeah.
Oh. That's making me rethink everything. That,
you thought they got, like, you thought they were scouting these people?
I definitely thought it was a full Indian man. I'm like, great, good for him. Even though, whatever. But I'm like, he's making his own. Is the white guy the whole time?
Yeah, Pooh's not like an Indian
and
man.
Simpsons is great too. That was a huge misstep. They're probably embarrassed about that.
You know what I mean? Like, The Simpsons has a range of characters that do different voices, which is great for them. But you come to a line where it's like, just because you don't see them, it doesn't mean that you can appropriate something.
Yeah. Man. And the people that defend them will be like, well, Bart Simpson is a woman, or it's different. Like, there's other women on the show. Like, you had one Indian character and you couldn't get an Indian guy to do it. especially considering that he's like making fun of himself. Like, I don't know. I don't like when the person isn't in on the joke. That doesn't sit right with me.
It's like if Cool Runnings was a cartoon and Mark Wahlberg was doing the voices. Like,
or
we're gonna
Hanks,
pass.
like you and Leah were talking about last week.
Please stop. I love the awareness that we brought to Chet Hanks here at Quarantea. For real.
This is gonna be this show is gonna be renamed the Chet Hanks Variety Hour. Just you wait, Bad Dog Comedy TV.
Don't even
sponsored
put that
by
out
Rita Wilson.
We're expecting our cease and desist so soon.
No, he'll love it. He'll probably try and chop you.
He would try to chop me. Honestly, I'm Chet Hanks' type.
Yeah.
I am Chet Hanks' type. Although I will say,
and it's White Boy Summer.
It's White Boy Summer on profit. And I did buy those Brazilian tights from Amazon. The ones, I don't know why I did this to myself, but I bought the Brazilian tights to like make my butt look bigger. So I wanted to see how they'd work on a black butt. And I'm suing Amazon because they made my butt look smaller.
Stop. How do they make your butt look bigger? Is it like reinforced and it's supposed to push up?
I guess they have
like a sports bra for your butt?
Yeah, they have like little like I don't know. It's like a sports bra, but then I guess the material
hydraulics?
Like gap. They have hydraulics right in the material. As soon as you walk outside, it just goes snoo. But yeah, so if anyone has that problem, let me know in the comments because I don't know why they're doing this to me. But let's move on to the next one. Next category, next archetype. We have the BBF. The Black Best Friend.
Okay, yes, got it right. The Black Best Friend. Okay, this one really hits home because back in the day, when I started university in Canada, I was trying to make money on the side. I was working retail, but then also going to auditions. I'm like, I'm going to be an actor. That's going to be my life. And all the commercials that I got booked for were all the BBF, all the Black Best Friend. I did 2 or 3 commercials. No! I'm not lying. I did 2 or 3 commercials, and I'm grateful for the opportunity. Like I was grateful for the money and like my mom being like, "Oh, she's on TV," not like while I was literally secondary every single time. But it was 2 or 3 it was commercials that aired on MTV Canada only for Clean and Clear. And remember the show Super Sweet 16 from MTV? Yeah. So this was a promotion between Clean and Clear, MTV Canada, and Super Sweet 16. So like some contest where you can win your own Super Sweet 16 birthday. And every single commercial, it was the white girl as the Super Sweet 16 person, and then the Black Best Friend. And tell me how I got cast in that same concept 2 times. The main girl was different each time, but I stayed the same. So I was grateful for that. So I'm like, at least I stayed getting checked. I booked and busy, and the white girls are getting replaced. But I'm like, that's because it doesn't matter. It just has to be a black. Just let the girl be black and let her. In one of the commercials, I had a cast for no reason. I had to do a whole separate costume fitting where they measured my arm, put me in a cast, and wrote things on them. For character development for a 30-second commercial, I'm like, no, I couldn't just be, I think that was the second one. I couldn't just be the Black Best Friend. I had to be the Black injured best friend.
She skateboards.
That's like combination of like the BBF and the domestic. Like, did I try and like shield her from getting pumped, and like I just went no, and then I hit the ground, saved my white best friend, and then I'm in a cast. Like I'm still waiting for the backstory there, and I never got it. Just a black girl in a cast.
So strange.
Going like, yay, super sweet. I get to be like so grateful to be in my white best friend Super Sweet 16 birthday. Like, yeah, I'm gonna get residual money, trickle down economics, bitch.
Funny, my mom was like, rent is due.
and also, I think I talked with Laura Lebo about this, but Super Sweet 16 isn't that culturally appropriating bat mitzvahs and quinceañeras?
Yeah, that whole thing was crazy. That show was actually insane, and watching it made me super uncomfortable because I was like, this is one of those situations where it's like, yes, there are certain things that you have in sequence, like you have your bat mitzvah, like for me, and like, you have, and I've been to a lot of those, but watching those made me so uncomfortable because the children were so ungrateful, and I was like, I want you to catch a black parent. I want you to catch a black parent with that attitude. I want you to try to be like, I didn't want a Porsche. I wanted a Ferrari, and see if you're going to be on the next scene. Not even in the next episode. They're going to go to commercial, and they're going to be like, and then after Sarah said those things, we have to stop filming.
That's when you get the subtitles. This is before subtitles were even a thing. Just giving you the updates.
Moments later.
And you know what? On Super Sweet 16, I know they had some black kids on there or black families on there, but the only one that I remember to this day is Tiana Taylor. That's how I was introduced to Tiana Taylor on Super Sweet 16, because she was already kind of famous or something, and she made that song Google Me and everything. And it's like, I'm not here for that. I don't want to see black kids being disrespectful to their parents. And I don't think she was, but maybe they made her do that. Like, let's leave that out too. Like,
yeah, well, she's a hard worker now. She definitely got checked, even if she was trying to be disrespectful. I stopped watching because I was like, it was super cringe. But what is she like? She's like the head artistic director of Pretty Little Thing or something now.
Oh yeah, and she has her own production company too.
Yeah, and so this is Sierra Miller, who I need to talk about.
Okay, yeah, this isn't Tiana Taylor, but who is this? You need to explain this to me.
This is Sierra Miller, and Sierra Miller is on Summer House, a show that I've gotten very obsessed with, who has this girl, Hannah Berner, that's on it. And she's the best friend of the one person that's been fired this season, because I guess she thought that her best way to go through the show would be to align with the most toxic person on set, because they seem the most popular. And she does everything for Hannah, breaks up with the guy that she's with, that she comes to the house with, because Hannah says some stuff about how they were dating the whole time. Turns out Hannah was dating another person before she even got into the house, played both of them, and she's still best friends with her.
No, that sounds like Jordan Woods, Kylie's best friend, but with a different outcome.
Yes. So it's just this weird thing where they're planted there to be like, this person's new. And everyone on the show was like, wow, Sierra's so attractive, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah, she's amazing.
It's all based on looks, though, but her personality is very much like, I'm damaged because of my dad, which is a classic thing that you have the black best friends say on the show. And then they're the vulnerable ones, and then you have them sitting around in a circle with a bunch of random people that she's just met that are white girls from New York and Brooklyn. Are just like, oh, that's really sad for you. And then her whole narrative is her being this black best friend to this person, but realistically is the damaged black girl that nobody actually wants to get close to because she has these issues and now she can't be loved.
Whoa. And in Summer House, is it the same thing with Kylie Jenner and Jordan Woods, where the Hannah person or whoever is helping, any little thing that they do was oh, such gratitude, thank you, queen, thank you for, with Kylie, and everyone thinks that Kylie put Jordan on, even though she had a successful family and she was doing well for herself.
Kylie donated $10,000 to Jordan's dad's death. Please, you're a millionaire. It was just a slap in the face. Jordan's out there modeling for a Chanel or whatever the hell's happening. What was that place she was modeling for? and then Kylie Jenner, her best friend of all time, gives her $10,000. It's like, yeah, we're gonna steal your sister's man.
Yep. Oh my god! Now that you brought that up, the Kardashian franchise was built on Black best friends. Because not only was there Jordan Woods, Kim had Black China before Black China got her man stolen by Kylie.
Malika, whatever.
Malika and the other one, like all of them had, except for Courtney. Yeah, all of them had a Black best friend.
Courtney's,
and then they just stole their looks and their men, and
it's crazy.
Like, get out for real.
Yeah, Courtney was like, here's Scott Disick and Addison Rae. Like, I'm not about this life. Here's Travis Barker.
That's wild. Oh my god, that she's with Travis Barker now. And did you see his ex-wife is saying that he cheated on her with Kim years ago? Ew. Travis Barker's ex-wife said that. We don't know if it's true, allegedly, but someone did. It's quarantine, baby. Quarantine. Travis Barker, they pulled up an interview that Travis Barker did years ago where they asked him about Kim Kardashian for some reason. He's like, yeah, she's so hot. What guy wouldn't like Kim Kardashian? I like curvy girls. Curvy girls is my thing. And he's like going on about Kim Kardashian. So of course the internet had to bring it up now. Be like, is this you? Because I'm pretty sure you said you were in love with her sister, but was this you out here in 2011?
Not 2011. No, that's crazy. No, like I can't even. I'm done with the Kardashians, and like Kanye cutting Kim off in the way that he does is so funny. But let's move on to the last one before we go on to the bonus question. And this is something that really boils my blood, so I'm really happy to talk about it. Fish out of water. This is mainly seen in reality TV shows, first and foremost, all the time. What does this mean to you? What do you think fish out of water is? So
to tie it back to another Bad Girls Club example, there was this season, I think it was Miami, and they'd already set up, in all the seasons, they have like the black girls that can fight, the more loud most of them are loud and outspoken. One season they got this more quiet black girl, Andrea, and she had a really soft voice, and she was really, really sweet. And I don't know, she was from down south or something. And the way they portrayed her on that show, like she was always the butt of the joke for everything. They were always playing her because like she just didn't fit in with everybody else. And and then it almost was like a self-fulfilling prophecy, because like later on she started acting in a way that wasn't her at all. And you could tell it's like, oh, you're trying to fish for a storyline now because who you are isn't exciting enough for these producers. So then now you need to become the fighter when you're not. So that's what fish out of water is like to me. What's your interpretation of it?
So this really irritates me, and this one is the one that grinds my gears the most. To Peter Griffin, this. It's when you see like a reality TV show, especially a dating show, mainly a dating show, and the whole cast is white, but they don't want to get sued or called out, so they have one black girl come in. Okay, and this black girl is usually African. Like, I'm not even joking. Usually, like, fully African, right? So, like, they have their hair done really well. They have the illusion that their hair is just, like, long and straight. They have beautiful wigs, because you already know we can't get that Nigerian shit all the time. And they are always shy or, like, angry, always hurt, been in a relationship that was, like, detrimental to their mental health and well-being, and they have to open up. And it's like, they're not opening up. They're the only black person there. And it's happened on mainly Love Island a lot. They're saying that they're trying to change it now. But Yewande Biala, who was on the UK version of Love Island, beautiful, amazing. They made her look like anxious and like scared all the time, and like didn't know how to kiss a man or make out with anyone, and it has to be a
No.
whole process. And then she eventually gets with this guy, and then he leaves her for a white girl, and then she's literally calling it out like, is this because of who I am? But like, she just got cast in a role where she's supposed to fulfill this thing. And then you have Justine Nabita, who was on the other. They look
Yes,
the same.
I watched that season. I loved her pairing. Did they make it? Did they win?
She won.
Okay.
With Caleb.
Yeah, they're my
Wait, you remember the
favorite.
whole thing? You remember the whole thing where nobody liked Justine, and nobody was into Justine, and Justine was the one that was closed off, and it was Justine's fault. And it's like, look around, and they gave her a Filipino best friend to enhance her personality, which is just like really insane to me, because it's like, you need these black people for every other show to be the show. But when you put them in a dating scenario, it's like they're too unlovable. I don't know how anyone could ever want to fully date them. So we're going to make them have a flaw that we perpetuate the whole season and isolate them in a scenario where they have no chance to be able to redeem themselves because they're backed into a corner. Like, in what planet would Justine or Yewande only hang out with a bunch of white people?
That's true. Like,
and then
and
you go there, people want.
If they did, they would be like everybody else. Like they're casting to have this diversity in personalities and looks, and then that's like the key of being diverse but not inclusive. Like, the problem there is they need to get more people that vibe with her. Like, you can't just put her in the season and then have a whole bunch of people that you already know are biased towards, because you have to ask them all these questions in the casting interviews, like what they're into and all that stuff. So you're telling me that you did all that and like, oh my god, it's such a surprise, nobody likes the black girl, oh my god, what are we gonna do? And then cue episode 7 or whatever, where now they get to have the surprise twist, and we all get to be happy that, oh, finally the black girl gets some crumb of attention.
Literally, it's always like, maybe this person will be for them, and then this person comes out and they're like, they feel forced into having to like this person just because they're watching the show beforehand. So they see the show beforehand and they choose, especially with Love Island, because people choose who they want to like come in and see. They are like, oh, I guess I like Yewande, right? When they don't, right? But it's because like they don't want to lose face, and they're being pushed by production to be like, yo, you have to pick the black person. But it's like, why did you pick someone and put them in a situation, first of all, where there's just one person? And it's always the same thing with Love Island. They're chosen last. They don't couple up for so long. Same thing with The Bachelor. There's no black girl that's making it to the end. Like, it's the same thing with all of these shows. Like, every time they have a black person there, they're an extreme version. They're like super shy, or their head shaved and they're a model and they're insecure, or they have no relationship with their dad. And it's like, do you have someone that's just like been chilling? Like, I don't understand.
But no, they do cast the person that's been chilling in different reality shows. Like, think of like Top Model and stuff, but then they turn it around on them. Like, what was her name? The one that Tyra did the whole rant. I was rooting for you. We were all rooting for you.
Please,
just because the girl wants to go home. She's like, this is not for a cover girl contract. Like, come on now. Come on, Tyra. And then she wanted better for herself, and then we all villainized her because she was different.
Yeah. Tyra and her orange hair, like, please, that's never been a thing.
That orange hair was swinging, though. She's like, we were rooting for you!
Literally losing her mind. So yeah, it's just super whack. I hate to see that because it makes me like, I was supposed to be on The Real World 27.
Are you joking? You're joking.
No, I was supposed to be on The Real World 27, but I moved to China, and I had like, it was supposed to be the one on St. Thomas. So I'm glad I didn't go. Because I was dating someone that was in the U.S. Army, and he was like refusing to be on camera. I was living in Beijing, this whole thing, and I look back on it now.
They made you into a storyline and a half. They would have been like, oh, Black Tamara. They would have called you Black Tamara. Black Tamara and her military boyfriends. And then it just would have been all the diary sessions. It would have been diary sessions, and then cut to you on the phone crying, like in behind some glass wall, being like, "I miss you so much," and like trying to paint that story for you. And they're like, "Okay, whatever, bitch. She's sad. Okay, now on to the real story."
Literally though.
Or you were frozen for a second, so I thought that you were offended.
Oh no, that's literally what would have happened. My mom was like, "Do you really want to spend your holiday like you're going to be making money like selling like drinking bottles at club appearances?" And I was like, "That sounds dope." She's like, "You're not doing it."
Like, I would love to be on a Republic poster.
But now that I look at it, it's because I was going to be like the black girl from Canada that likes white men. Like this is like all the things they asked me. Like, what's your preference? Like when I went through the whole thing, it's just like, oh, what's your preference? Or oh, what is this? Or oh, like, and I had all these like things to answer.
They asked that?
Yeah, they asked you that like in your like actual interview.
See, we knew they're messy. So for a show, like for those dating shows, they have no excuse because it's a dating show on top of that. So of course they ask for the preference. So their Excel spreadsheet when they tabulate it is all saying like white, Spanish, white. And then they still and they cast with people like, and then let's add the black girl in.
Yeah, because I was like, oh, I don't really have a preference. These are just the people that I've like dated, and they're like, okay, so you like white men. I was like, what? And like everything they were asking me was so like detailed to put you in a situation where people aggravate you. So I was gonna be like this angry black woman in this house, and I was like, I'm not about it.
Wow, an alternate universe, you were so close to being that.
I was in like I went to my last, where was it? In Newark, my last like round, and then I was supposed to fly back in for like the final thing, and my mom was like, "You're not going. You're a professor at a university. You want to go drink on TV?" Yeah. So, well, now it's time for the last question. Last but not least, the question that everybody gets like shocked by, and they have to really come through with the real tea. Here we go. If you could choose one Toronto comedian to go on a first date with, who would it be and why?
Okay, so I knew this question. I can't lie. I knew this question was coming because I've been watching Quarantea, and I watched last week's the season premiere with Leah Abraham, and I gotta say, I respect her answer. Her answer was, this isn't my answer. But I respect her answer, Nick Nemeroff, because I feel like she was being honest. And I feel like people like give like a decoy, like someone that they really, really like and they're really cool with, but they don't put their real, their real crush out there. Not singling anyone out, but that's how I feel. So Leah, I can back her up on that. Yeah. Her choice was valid. Mine, okay. So I gotta go. Okay, so I have to have a million disclaimers for this. First off, this person is my friend. He's just like a great guy. Rob Bevinick.
Oh, Rob Bevinick! I love.
Now Rob. I'm not gonna be able to show my face again. People are gonna be like, yeah.
I'm just gonna clip this, send it to Rob. I know his girlfriend. She'll find it very lovely. Rob Bevinick. Yo, Rob is the best. Rob is such an ally. Rob is such a great friend and such a funny person. So we got Nick Nemeroff and Rob Bevinick. We are just gonna start a whole roster of the most eligible bachelors in the Toronto.
Rob isn't a bachelor though. I don't think. I know he's in a relationship with a very great. And the thing I loved his girlfriend too. Don't you hate that?
Yeah,
when you're amazing. Like, man, if I didn't think you were already such a good person, and now on top of that you make good choices and you're committed, to an amazing person. Like, get out of here. Like, you're trying to
Are you even a comedian?
Like, where's your skeleton? Yeah.
No, I love that. Rob Bemenick will love to know that because he is the best. We also have an album out right now called The Pandy. Me, Rob Bemenick, and Alex. No, she won't block you. She's the best. So if you want to check out The Pandy,
watch Rob block me. He wouldn't.
Rob won't block you. You think Rob's watching this? He's not going to block you until I send it to him. Rob has a new dog. Rob's trying to do his thing.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
This dog's so cute.
Yeah. Like, Rob is someone that I would have my future child. Actually, no. Let's take that back. That sound again. No. I didn't mean to say that. No, let's rewind.
Jhanelle is trying to get impregnated by Rob Bemenick out in these streets.
Sister-daughter wife. TLC.
Sister-daughter wife. No, that has been amazing. Thank you so much for being real and spilling the tea. For anyone that's been watching this, I know that this has been a little bit longer than usual, but please donate if you like the show to baddogtheater.com/quarantine. It's been an amazing time to have Jhanelle on. Please, if you want to follow Jhanelle, make sure that you follow Jhanelle at Jhanelle Dion. Dion? It sounded like on Instagram.
Quarantea.
Quarantea, Tuesdays at 7 p.m. Who knows? Maybe we'll get Chet to come on the show. Y'all have been so awesome. Give it up for Sean, your tech, for killing it. You guys are amazing.
And don't forget what Sean said. Don't forget what Sean said about the Tump lick box Tump. Thank you. Yes.
That has been Quarantine. Thank you, Jhanelle, for being on the show. Bye, y'all.
Thanks, Tamara. Bye.